30 seconds. Good morning. I hope this is working. Emily and Stephen are pressing buttons again upstairs. So hopefully we are coming live to you this morning. Good morning. How are you all? Are you all well? Is this working? Let's find out. First of all, is this working? Have I got anyone joining me this morning? Oh, hang on. Let me just turn that down so I can find out. Well, people are watching. I've got Heather. I've got Helen. Lovely. Deborah, Lorna, Claire, Jackie. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. What a fabulous morning. So this morning we launched the brand new Stripology extra large ruler. I'm ridiculously excited about this morning. I've just had a look at my desk. It's such a mess. I've had so much fun this morning already, and we're just going to air. I did get a little bit carried away, so yeah, sorry not sorry really for that, because I've got lots to share with you this morning, which is fab. So I hope you're well, I hope you're at home, I hope you're behaving yourselves, or as I say to Freddie, if you can't behave, don't get caught. Right, okay, right. Gadgets, gizmos, rulers, fabrics, I have got the lot for you this morning. So first things first, let me just have a quick tidy up. This show sort of crept up on me a little bit this morning. So let me put my prep to one side and show you, actually, before we start, something quite exciting. If I show you, well, okay, for me it's exciting. I realise that to anyone else it's probably quite sad, but for me, bear with me, it's quite exciting. Check this out, right? I don't know if anybody else is with me on this, right? Whoops. So this is a needle holster. How cool is this, right? So I never know what needle I have in my machine, ever. But this has got all different size needles along there, and it says which ones they are. And then you put that little doody thing in there to tell you which needle you've got in your machine. Awesome. Yep, having a bit of that this morning. Let me move this around. Had a little bit of a tidy up this morning. So they are on the website. It's the small things that made me really happy. I was like, yes, I now have needles on my machine where I can find them all the time. When I go, because that's the machine that comes to Hochanda with me. When I go to Hochanda, I will have it there. When I break a needle, they're there. I know which one I've got in there. Exciting. And I've also put up on the website, I say I've put up on the website, I got up very early and basically sent all of this stuff over to poor Emma and SJ. So what I have for you are a collection of needles, because I'm all about the needle at the moment, to make sure that your projects don't you don't get hampered by having the wrong needle. Basically, what this came about by my machine was making a strange noise. What's going on? I had an old needle in there. So then I couldn't find the right needle. So then I found an old packet of some sort of self-threading needle. It was dreadful. And I managed a few projects with that, but the thread kept snapping. Awful, awful, awful. And then I was talking to one of my suppliers, and they said, well, the thing is, Natasha, you buy these expensive machines. I was like, yeah, guilty. And then it's like buying a great car and then putting really rubbish tyres on it and you expect it to drive well. It's like, oh yeah, no, that's really true. So Schmetz needles. I remember being told very early on Schmetz were a fabulous make of needles, so I've gone with them. And what I've put together are different size universal ones, okay, and also a jeans. Right, now and you've got 5 in each. Jeans needles are just incredibly fine, sharp needles. and you can use them for quilting or wear just precision, or if you're going through like the fabrics that we had yesterday, if you're going through upholstery fabrics, they are a great needle to have. So that's why I've put them in that bundle, and there's a bundle on the website which is going up today. That is your needle holster. I love it. Needle holster, yeah. And that's what you're looking for there. And that's the little doody thing. So that sticks on your machine. That's the little green doody thing that then sticks in there because you get your needles and everything with it. I just thought that was quite cool. And so I bought some. Yeah, that's how it happens. Let's see who's watching this morning. Oh gosh, lots of messages. You are up early. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's one of those things, like life happens and goes on. And you have good days and bad days, obviously. But then I come on here and, you know, when none of us are alone, are we? Look at all these lovely people watching. Thank you. Attractor Jane. Good morning, Jane. Good morning, Gemma. Marion, hello. Karen. Melinda. We've got Debbie, hello. Isabel. Deborah. Paula. Paula bought her first Stripology ruler. Haha! And I did say to her, do you want to wait for the extra large one? She's like, bit big for me today. But I reckon I'm going to convince you otherwise. Eileen, hello. I've got Heather, hello. Lorraine. Oh, Jennifer's joined. And me, she says, yes, hello. Sarah, good morning. Lovely to see you too. Jan and Vonnie, hello. Jill. Who else have we got? Oh, Victoria. She's watching from her desk at work. Naughty. Well done. Helen and Sally. Who else have we got? Tina as well. Gosh, you're all here. Oh, how fabulous. And right, Carol. Okay. Carol, you got me thinking yesterday, right? I'm just going to pop that there for a minute. It's all right. Freddie's got another glow in the dark one. We had Carol watching yesterday. Oh, gosh. Got my stripy yoga pants on today. I thought it was long enough you wouldn't see. Oh dear. Right, so yeah, Carol got me thinking yesterday because the other night when everyone was clapping for the NHS, I was completely oblivious to it. I'd gone to bed at 6 o'clock with a migraine, missed all the clapping, the whole thing. Felt awful about it the next day. Said, look, I will give a discount for key NHS workers. But then Carol messaged in yesterday, and she's a bus driver in London, and she's keeping London going. And she has to sit there while people get on and off and cough on and off her bus. And I'm like, do you know what? I'm going to extend the discount to key workers. So if you are a key worker, and if you are keeping our country going, and if you are putting yourself out there, rather than being a sofa hero, because you are heroes too, but if you are actually out and about, then please do send us an email, info@natashamakes.com, and we will send you the code and you'll get a 10% discount on your next order. So that went out today. That will happen today, because, you know, full respect, you don't need to be doing that, but you are. So thank you, and full respect to that. Right, let's crack on with the show. Who has got dry hands? Like anybody that's touched antibacterial. Can I remind you that the Seams hand cream and oil is on our website and it ships really quickly. The oil is where I would be at right now. I put this on last thing at night, couple of drops, rub it in, then I go with the hand cream, and by morning my hands feel amazing. That is on the website. Right. Let's see what else we're going to do today. Oh, fabrics. Should we look at fabrics? And then we can start cutting them up. Brilliant. Right. Oh, gosh. What point did I think that was going to be? Good job to do that. These are going up on the website as we speak. In fact, SJ, do you want to send me a little message just to say if they're up yet or not? Because I did send them quite a lot to do this morning. There I was merrily, 4 o'clock this morning, sending all this stuff I put everybody to do. Right, William Morris, I love William Morris, you love William Morris. Moda, I love Moda, you love Moda. And a plane which sets them all off. Fabulous, what could be better? Here we go. Let's take a little look at these. Oh, let's change the camera angle because I can. Whoops. Well, that's if I don't throw the whole thing on the floor. You see, I say these rash things because I can and then drop everything. Right, here we go. Way! Right, these are the ones I've been playing with. Let me move those out of the way. A ½ metre of each. How gorgeous is this? How gorgeous is that? Isn't that beautiful? Do you know where that was meant to go? I think that was meant to go to Selfridges. They cancelled their order. Their loss, our gain. Thank you very much. Right, so Moda, gorgeous, works beautifully with your neutrals. And then, yeah, lovely dark chocolatey brown. Wow, lovely. Oh, Em's watching. Emma, is everything uploaded? I don't know. Tina's looking forward to this. Oh, so I get distracted looking at everything. Look, here we go. Shall I show you the William Morris up close? Because I think it's a bit gorgeous. I'm going to change a camera angle because I can do that. You know, don't wish to brag or anything, but, you know, I can press buttons with the best of them. Here we go, look at that. Is that not just utterly gorgeous? And if I move it that way, you won't have to look at the crease. Oh, sorry, that's the dog coughing. Have you got COVID, Arthur? You can't cough around here, mate. No, going to have to make him a mask. There we go. That is your William Morris Strawberry Thief. Lovely, beautiful classic colours, right? So I then thought, oh, dangerous thing. This is your Moda. How beautifully does that go? Picking out all those creams from the said Strawberry Thief. Mum, if you're watching, what sort of bird is the Strawberry Thief? Do you know? Mum's very good at the old ornithology. We once, I think for Mother's Day, bought her a CD of bird songs so that she could recognise them. But yeah, so this is Moda. This is from the Chafficani range. This is French General. I love a good selvage. I don't know about you, but look at that. Isn't that a pretty selvage? We digress. So we've got those. And then I just went with a plain because for me that sets the whole thing off. So that's where I went with that. That is being loaded as we speak. We're going to play with this today. And in that bundle, you will get ½ metre of each. And I think it's coming in at a really good price. If you don't know where to find these, they are all on www.natashamakes.com. And I'm sure that Emma will text me any second now the price that these are. I don't think that they were a lot. Not for your William Morris. Bear in mind you've got William Morris and Moda fabrics there. Oh, isn't my folding improved? Yeah, see, who knew? All I needed to do was just have to send out a whole load of orders and my folding of fabric would improve. Oh, that looks pretty. Let's pop that down there, shall we, for a minute? So that is your William Morris. Hi, Natasha. Hi, Christine. Hi, Ali. Hello, April. Ah, Australian April. How lovely to have you with us. Hang on, what time? I think we've had this discussion before. What time is it in Australia in your bit? Oh, Emma says I'm coming through loud and clear on Facebook and on the website. In Switzerland, yes, 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 yes. You see, Emma, my M pressed all the right buttons this morning. It's all good. We'll get on to this in just a minute because I've got other gorgeous fabrics to show you as well, which I have piled up here. Right, okay. Lisa Lamb on Facebook this morning said, yes, houndstooth without any of the fraying. Right. I thought these were happy and cheery, and so I got them because I'm all about the happy and cheery right now, quite frankly. So what we've got here, let me show you. Oh, is a sewing machine with nothing on it. Aha, that's the one. I thought these were rather fabulous. So these are by Heather Bailey. She is one of the Free Spirit designers. So under the Free Spirit banner, you have the likes of Kaif and Philip Jacobs and Anna Maria Horner and all those amazing designers and Tula Pink. And they're all under the Free Spirit umbrella. They have an amazing stable of designers and Heather Bailey is one of them. And what I love about these is the size of the print. Imagine making a bag out of that. How stunning is that going to be? In fact, look at this, because imagine then if you had the contrast lining or if you just wanted a two-tone bag. Isn't that lovely? I thought that was a lot of fun, to the extent that I'm actually going to write a bag making pattern around these fabrics, basically. That's how inspired I got with this morning. I was like, oh yeah, it's really lovely. So we've got it in red. Lovely, lovely, lovely. And we have got it in green. Here's your green. Should we have a little close up? Should we treat ourselves? There you go, there's green. Beautiful. Aren't they lovely? Yeah, they're a bit special, aren't they? And do you know, with green, I think it's really underestimated, because green's everywhere, right? You just have to look out your window, there's green. Well, unless you live right in the middle of London and you just look at high-rise buildings. But otherwise, green everywhere you look. So it goes with everything. Really underestimated. Green is great. So, and I think also cutting up that to just have little snippets of interest. And this, brilliant, brilliant. Love this one. And then let me show you the gold. And again, yellow is one of those colours. Yellowy golds are colours that we don't always have in our stash, and yet potentially should have. Look at the elegance of this. Isn't it beautiful? And I love this big, bold houndstooth. Loving, loving, loving that. Right, they are the fabrics today. And these are available in their pairs, because I think it would be rude to split them up. It's like Postman Pat. Where would he be without Jess the cat? They've got to come as a pair. So I've done green, red and gold this morning. And the beautiful thing is that you'll get half a metre of each, £9.99, right? For free spirit, Heather Bailey fabric. I thought that was a particularly impressive price, because you know me, if I can bring you something at a great price, yeah, I will, because it would be rude not to, right? So the green, £9.99, the red, £9.99, and the gold, £9.99 for a half metre, and that's quilting weight. So that is 44 inches selvage to selvage. Same actually with the William Morris as well, all those 44, anywhere between 42 and 44 inches selvage to selvage, depending on what loom it was woven on. It's the international symbol for weaving, or possibly fish, I don't know. Yeah, we were meant to learn Makaton at school, didn't quite happen. It just doesn't work for me. Right, that is your fabrics for today. I was quite pleased with those. And you know what else? I've got a whole new delivery of Lewis and Irene. That's for another day. Just saying. There's so much to come. Honestly, if I could manage to do a show a day, I would. But, there aren't enough hours in the day. So, they're the fabrics. We've looked at the William Morris. Doing a little check. Stripology! It's got to be time for the Stripology. Right, okay. Oh, this makes me so happy. Let's try and think of the best way to show this to you. I'm going to put it on. What shall I put it on? Oh, the brown actually would probably be not a bad shout. Haha. Bear with. Okay. Of course it's gone static. There we go. And then change to that. Yeah. And move those out of the way so they are not distracting you from the loveliness that is the creative grids. Okay. Right. You can probably see, gosh, I've got lots of things in the way today. Here, can you see lots of kind of white markings? And these go, there, that's the angle. So these you would normally only get on the Creative Grid Stripology Ruler 2, which is the 12.5 by 12.5, no, which is the smaller one. It finishes like at 12.5 or something like that. And here, it's integrated into this Stripology ruler. And if I spin it around here, what you can see is that you've also got little squares there. Now, what does this mean? What is this all about, Natasha? What's going on? You can cut back your whole inch increment blocks there. And then if you've got 1.5 inches, you can cut them back here. Right. This is what we know and love with creative grids, right? And this is what we've always had with all of the rectangular and the square rulers that creative grids bring us, is that you have down one side white numbers and down the other black numbers. And I'm going to show this here so that you can see. And if I show it on this ruler, then you'll get an idea of what on earth I'm talking about. So, right, down here, they are your inch increments, and that is your inbuilt non-slip grip, which is what creative grids are renowned for. And that was the first reason that I loved them. Absolutely love them. Let me just drape that across there, then we can get some nice close-ups there. There we go. So that was the first reason that I really, really loved them, was because of that non-slip grip. So it made it safe, right? But here's the thing, we're quilters, right? What do we deal in? We deal in 1/2 inch and 1/4 inch increments. And actually, I don't know about you, I'm a metric child, which means that centimetres are my day to day. So I've kind of had to learn inches. It's been a struggle. The struggle is real. I'm getting there. My 8th timetable, not my strongest, getting there. Right, but first world problems, right? So inbuilt grip, and that is at your 1/4 inch. So that is an easy, quick go-to. Is that 1/4 inch? Yes, check it on there. Right, now 1/2 inch increments, sometimes really tricky to see on other rulers. But look, just spin it around. There's your 1/2 inch increments. Fabulous, brilliant, brilliant. And that is now 1/2 inch there with your inbuilt grip, non-slip grip. And that's why we love creative grids. So it makes sense. And the point that I'm trying to make, all that is on every single squared and rectangular ruler. Brilliant. But it wasn't on the initial Stripology ruler. So I'm absolutely thrilled that now with the new Stripology ruler, you have got, let me see if I can show you. I'm not wearing the best things. I don't know if you can see here. These are your inch ones, and then the white ones are your your 1.5 inch increments. Brilliant, brilliant. So you're just spinning around and do that as you would with the other ones. Right. How does this differ to the other Stripology rulers that are out there? Okay, it is bigger. It is the extra large. It's like they've just gone that little bit extra with all the things that we've gone, love Stripology, wish it just did this. Love Stripology, wish that when I have my fabric off the bolt and I've got it and it's folded, so it's come off the bolt and it's folded, what I didn't always have, and it was a minor thing, it didn't matter, but before I couldn't line it up on the 0 line. I couldn't line it up there and and get a good sweep at things. So this is longer, this is larger. It stopped at, I think it was it 12 and a half before? No, 14. It's longer. It's much longer. It feels much longer because what isn't taken into those increments are the teardrops where you put your your blade. Okay. In fact, I don't know if I haven't got the other Stripology here to compare. Oh, done with it. So I've got a new one now. It's old history. So you've got 45-degree lines, 60-degree lines. I'm going to show you how to use all of those. You also have that non-slip grip on these rulers, which is what Creative Grids are renowned for. So all of that we expect is there. Perfect. You've got little slotty slidey bits for your very technical Rachel Ruler from Creative Grid said, I'll be watching, Natasha. Morning. I've lost words. I'm really sorry. They'll come back. Every ½ inch you've got a slot to put in your ruler and to cut. But what happens if we need to use 1/4 inch? That's okay. Now you spin it around, and now down the bottom you have got, actually you've got it on both sides, you've got 1/4 inch and you have got 3/4 inch increments on both sides. Let me show you. Here we go. Right, now here are, can you see? Here are your different increments. So you would align, if you want 1/4 inch, you align it differently there. Now I've got this ruler upside down, but look, this is how I can trim back my blocks if they are 1.5 inches. And if I wanted 1.25 inches, I would just move it over. Okay, I'm going to spin this around because let's look down here. So down here, if I just wanted to cut 1.25 inch strip, for example, instead of lining up my fabric on that 0 line, I would move it across to there. That gives me 1/4 inch, and then I would cut on my 1 inch line. I've added the 1/4 there. That is going to give me 1.25 inch. If I want 3/4, that's my 3/4 inch line. Easy peasy, right? It gets even better because in your instructions, never throw these away. They're really detailed, they're fab. In your instructions here, can you see? You have got where to cut for when you want to cut strip sizes of 1 1/4, 1 3/4, 2 1/4, 2 3/4, 3 1/4, and so on and so forth, right? They are where you make your first cuts, then you move it along, and that's where you make your other cuts. So it's all done for you. Otherwise, if you're just cutting strips that are 1 inch or ½ inch increments, you've got those slots all the way along the ruler. But better than that, because Creative Grids are quilters who make rulers for quilters, they know that we use 2.5 inch strips and 1.5 inch strips regularly, right? So every time that you want to cut a 2.5 inch strip, you'll see a square, and you just put your ruler, your rotary cutter in there, and that will cut you a 2.5 inch strip. I'll show you this in a minute. If you want to cut 1.5 inch, don't do the maths. Just pop it in every time there is a star. So for those strips that we use most regularly, it's all done for us. But sometimes, you know, we want to do a 2 1/4 inch strip for binding. That's fine. Take a look down here and you go 2 1/4. Right, so the first cuts would be at 4.5, 9, 13.5, 18. Move the ruler 1/4 inch and cut again. And there it tells you how to do it. Really, really detailed. Do not lose your instructions because, quite frankly, they're fabulous. they're fabulous. So I know lots of you already have rulers. If there's anybody that wants to ask a question, then do. Let me just check before we go any further. Eileen says she can't find the needle holster on the website. It will be going up this morning. It was on the list that was sent across, so don't worry. Ali says, good morning. Just off to online school with grandson. Ooh, we'll catch up later. Yeah, do you know, Freddie's wandering around today in his pyjamas looking for shapes that are symmetrical and drawing them, which then, when he spelt circle, S-U-R-C-L-E, meant that we then had to sit down and write some spellings for him to learn how to spell circle, triangle, rectangle. It's all been going on this morning. So yeah, I feel your pain. We made robots. We made Elmer the elephants out of old milk things yesterday. What's all going on? Oh, Paul and Neil are watching. Good morning, sirs. I was thinking about you the other day when I had the gorgeous Liberty fabrics, because I thought a waistcoat out of that fabric would be amazing. We'll talk. Stella, Helen, hello, Maggie, Karen, hope you're feeling a bit happier today, Karen. She's got a little grandchild, can't see it, very sad. And she's also, well, yeah, and also a bit anxious because, you know, she's an NHS superhero too. Paula says she definitely wants the XL eventually. Yeah, you come find me when you do, my darling. But at 2 meters, right? Who else is here? Gosh, look at you all this morning. Hello. Ali says that they're not up yet. Yeah, half of me is, half of me not so much. Strawberry Thief is just stunning. Yes, Naomi, isn't it? Love it. Oh, look, lovely messages. Thank you. Let's get cutting, shall we? For those of you, I'm going to take it right back to basics. So for those of you that have never ever used a Creative Grids ruler of the Stripology range, let's take it right back to basics. So we talked about the advantages of this ruler because it is longer. Oh yeah, I never got around to actually making this point. Because it is wider, longer, wider, whichever way around you want to look at it. When you take your fabric off the bolt and you fold it a second time, before with the other rulers, occasionally you would just not quite have enough room to cut through the whole thing if you hadn't folded it absolutely in half. And you might just have to snip a thread, which is not the end of the world. And it's not actually a problem. But how nice is it when it's never a problem because it's wider, so it fits that off the bolt, folded in half, boomf, there, ready to strip. So my mum still says, are you sure that your group should be called Natasha's Strippers? I'm like, well, it's not an actual group. It's just a lot of us that like to, you know, strip, cut. So you get your fabric. This has come off the bolt, straight off the bolt. And then you fold it in half. So you've got that fold line where it's come off the bolt there. You've got your fold line where it's come off the bolt there. You've got your 2 selvage edges there. Okay. And there it is, right? Beautiful. Although, look, it's not quite, there's a bit, it's not even there. Now, if you were to use your normal ruler, you would be having it that way, cutting off that end to then spin it around and then realigning it all here to then cut your increments, right? And that can be done. Of course it can be done. But how much easier is this, right? I'm going to line up my bottom of the ruler on 0. So that line is on the line of my fabric. So that is all lined up. So I know I'm cutting straight. I'm going to put in there my rotary cutter and I'm just going to push. And look, I've only got my fingers on there because I know that the non-slip grip is holding that fabric. If in doubt, pull that out. Now I know I'm starting off with a straight edge there. If I want to cut this in 2.5-inch increments, every time I see that square on the bottom there, I am going to cut. How much quicker was that? Right? How much quicker was that? That is why we love Stripology rulers. Point number 1. Now, what if I want to make myself some charm packs? Now, traditionally charm packs are what, 5-inch, 10-inch, which is great. But what if I want to have a different size charm pack? Or if I just want to cut up my scraps because, quite frankly, I'm going to do some English paper piecing and I'm just going to cut up my scraps. Or if I want different size, I want a 4-inch charm pack or a 6-inch charm pack or anything like that. Look, here it is. Cut off your salvages. Make sure that you've lined up your fabric along one of the lines. You've got lines every 1/2 inch, so you've got plenty to line them up against. That is perfect. I've lined up my fabrics. They've all gone back together beautifully, haven't they? Because, quite frankly, they were cut beautifully. And now every 2.5 inches, every time I see that square, and I'm going to make a cut. Can you hear that cut? Okay, that is what I'm after. I want to be able to hear that cut. A lot of people are just like, oh no, I can't, it doesn't work for me. You're not putting enough pressure on if it's not working for you. This should be so easy, and it really is. There we go. You ready? Perfectly cut. Now, I could have actually layered those up really easily. That wouldn't have been any problem whatsoever. But in that time, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44, 46, 48, 48, 50. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's not right, is it? I've lost count. Anyway, what we've got is an awful lot of squares, because look, there's 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh yeah, 8 sixes, 56. Yeah, you see, I told you, didn't I? No, 8, 48 rather. Yeah, sorry, 48. Cut in seconds. It's been a long morning already. Told you, my 8-time table. It's the worst. 8s and 7s. Dreadful, dreadful, dreadful. Anyway, 8 sixes, 48 squares cut in moments. So you know how you pay a premium for jelly rolls, for fabric strips, for all of those, you can cut yourself your own charm packs, your own fabric rolls. You can do it out of the fabrics that you've got, so you can use your fat quarters and whatever, and then just cut into strips or squares or whatever, what you've got left over. But how quick and easy was that? And look, they're all absolutely perfect, because my ruler doesn't budge and my rotary cutter can't go off at a funny old angle, because it's in that grid. It's not going anywhere. That's the genius. But I've now got a lot of these squares, haven't I? I'm going to have to think up a project for these. Or I could do a nice checkerboard. Yeah, that's the one. Right. So that is the first thing, is your strips and your squares. Easy, easy peasy. Now, I talked about trimming back blocks, right? So let's take a look. Here's a block. It's a bit wobbly wobbly. That was done on purpose, I'd just like to say. Let me see what size I want it to be. So I think I want this to be I'm going to make that a 7. Where's that? 7.5. It is 7.5. So I've got, or whatever I want to trim it down to. If it's a half, Then I'm going to spin it around. Do you remember I've got all of these now? And I've also got, through there, I don't know if you can see, if I've got half square triangles, I can line those up now. If I've got quarter square triangles, I can line those up, and I would put the center there and then cut. That's why they are like this. Okay, so I can line up on there like that, and then I can decide where I want to do it. So if I want to do 7.5 inch, I can do that. If I wanted to make it 6.5 or whatever, I could do that. So 7.5 inch would trim there, and then all I would need to do is then swivel it around, realign, because I'm using this line here to line up, and I know that's going through there, that's going through there, so my points are fabulous. I'm lining my seam line there. I've got those through there. 7.5. Let's trim that back, and it does it. Look, you see I've got little bits there, but it's trimmed back for me. That's it. That's all the waste from it. Perfect. And there's my block cut beautifully. Okay. Right. Let's put that to one side. Let's cut some more strips and look at something else that I also want to draw your attention to. Now I'm just going to go with, I'm going to stick, oh, this feels lovely actually, this fabric's really soft. I'm going to do again 2.5 inch strips. Oh, I've gone around the wrong way. There we go. Right. Let's do a few more of these. I'm going to do a 5 inch piece as well. Bear with. Because it really is that easy. Look. Easy peasy. And how often do you need to start with cut a strip of 5 inches? Ah, easy done, right? Just want to show you something else very quickly. Let me just cut off those selvages. Again, every time I am lining up one of these horizontal lines with the bottom of my fabric. Okay, and I'm just going to do a little 5 inch there. But what if I wanted to cut a half square? Well, that's easy. I'm going to line up the 0 line with the tip and line up like that. Now, if you are left-handed, line it up on the 20 inch line, the other end. So that's how I'm going to do my half square triangles. This is all with one ruler, by the way, all with one ruler. And before, the choice was, do you go for the squared one that's going to help you cut back your blocks, or do you go for the longer one that's going to give you more increments to cut your strips? Well, now they've merged. You've got the best of both worlds. But what if I also want to do, let me see, what would I fancy doing? Oh, 60-degree triangles. Why not? Why not? So I'm going to make sure that the end of my fabric is lined up just past 0. I've got a 60-degree line there. I'm going to line up my fabric along there. And then, because I did a 2.5 inch strip, every 2.5 inches, and I know because I'm going with the square every time, I'm just going to cut. And because this is longer, and because this is wider, what I can do is cut that whole strip, bump, 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 into 60-degree triangles. There's 2 of those at a time. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Oh, we're not starting that again. Do you know, you do get into school mode, don't you? All of a sudden, you're like, oh gosh, look at that. Perfect. And then all you would do, sew, bink, and do the most amazing kind of harlequin Let's see. Sound has gone. Where did we get to? Sorry about that. Where did we get to? I was having a lovely time telling you all about the creative grids. So yeah, saves you time, saves you money. It's safe. It takes the best from the original creative grid whilst elongating the grid, so that you can cut off the bolt far easily. And also now you can, when you've got your strips, you can cut the whole way along your diamonds, which you couldn't quite do before. You can cut back your blocks more easily. It's taken all of those features from the second creative grid Stripology ruler and put them in here. It's the hybrid. It's the big one. Is that better? Can you hear me now? Is that better? Sound has gone. Sound has gone. Sound has gone. Right. Hopefully. Are we good? Are we back? Yes? Are we all good? Someone message me. Someone tell me. Sound is back. Awesome. Good. Soz about that. That's my fault. I meant to check the batteries. And I changed these ones and obviously put good. Old ones in there. Good. That system needs relooking at. Okay. Soz. I used to have people that did that. I used to have people. I don't anymore. I've got to do it myself. Right. Okay. Wouldn't happen on No Chanda, would it? No. Right. Let's have a look at what else we are going to do today. This is your starting point. And when you come on to then use a lot of the other grids, then you can cut your strips. You can cut a 5-inch strip. You can do whatever you want to do. And this is a great place. I also lost you around 60-degree cut line. Oh, yeah. So your 60-degree cut line. Oh, was I out for quite a while? Oh gosh. Oh well, you know what I mean. Where can you buy the William Morris material? You've looked on the site and it's not there. Patricia, it will be loaded up this morning at some point if it's not already up there. Elizabeth, you thought it was you anyway. Oh, bless you. No, all me. Completely all me. You see, if I can't even replace a battery, Stephen says to me the other day, he suddenly realises that at some point I'm going to have to cut his hair. Right? The fear. If I can't even manage to put a battery in there, can you imagine what I'm going to be like with a pair of hair clippers? And Elizabeth has very kindly said that she will try and teach me, how to do that. Not sure how that's going to work. Watch this space. So Stephen said to Freddie, I don't know why you're laughing because she's going to have to cut your hair too. And Freddie said, can't she practice on Emily first? My daughter has the most amazing hair. I'm like, not touching that. Not touching that. Right, anyway, we digress. Awesome ruler. Oh, pick it up by both ends, by the way, and don't bend it. That's the other thing. Right, let me put that to one side there. So well done if you've managed to get hold of that this morning. I'm a little tidy. Right. What else was I going to look at? Oh, yeah. So we are all working to different budgets, right? I realise that. And Creative Grids have brought out some other rather lovely things that I just wanted to show you because what Creative Grids do so well is cut corners in a good way. In a good way, not in a bad way, in a good way. So I want to have a look and show you the folded corner clipper. Yes, the folded corner clipper. Again, this is it. This is the little piece of wonderment. Let me show you it here. And this is a very clever little piece of kit because look. Can you see? Yeah, no more dog ears. Those dog ears stay in the only place dog ears should be, which is on the dog, quite frankly. Oh, yeah. All right, Arthur. Oh, he's just yawning and stretching at the same time. There you go. So I'm going to show you some of the things that this does. It does quite a lot of things, but I wanted to bring something that hopefully was maybe something a little bit different if you don't already have it. So what I have cut already is, you know, because I can, because I got my Stripology ruler, is a width of fabric 2. And I have cut it, let me see, I've cut it at 4 inches. Right. Let's have a look at this. Okay. I've cut it at 4 inches, and what I will do is this. I will line up that flat bit of the ruler there. I will line that up on the top of my ruler so it's flush with the top of there. I will also make sure that this line along here is going to be along the bottom there. That is my 4-inch line, so I've got a double checker, that's where I'm at. And I know that I'm going to be cutting nice and square and nice and straight. And I'm going to make my cut beautiful. I am going to spin this around. Yes, I am. And I'm going to line that up so that that is going to line up along there. My 0 is lining up along the top there. My 4-inch line now is lining up along the top of that fabric there. And I'm going to make that cut. Okay, what I've got there very, very quickly, very, very easily. Right, let's go to the machine because looky here, what we have here is 1/4 of an inch ready to cut. So when I sew down along this line, I'm not having to work out where that 1/4 of an inch line is. So make sure that I've got 1/4 of an inch stitch on my machine, and off I go. Whee! Oh, she's purring this morning, is the old Dukey. Actually, I should have chain pieced that, shouldn't I? That would have made a lot more sense. There we go. And now let's go over to the mat, I'm going to do it from here. Right. I have something else to show you as well this morning because I've had a little rearrange this morning. I've got a new mat. Really like my mats because it gives a much crisper cut, because this isn't a self-healing one, so it meets the blade rather than the blade sinking into a self-healing cutting mat, which after a while, you know, like it or not, any cutting mat is going to struggle with that. This the surface meets it, so you get a nice crisp. You know, for anybody that's a crafter that has a die cutting machine, and if you're cutting fabric you put in a metal plate to give a much crisper cut, it's like that. It just gives a real good cut, real good crisp cut. I really, really like it. So I've gone for that one. And then my other cutting mat, I'm just, when I have to cut loads and loads and loads of big pieces of fabric, it's gone to do that. Because I needed another cutting mat. So, which now means I've got room over here for this, basically, which is my pressing mat. Now, wool pressing mats, fabulous, love them. I've done a really wonky job on that. I'm just going to sew that again. That is just completely user error because I was talking. Do you know what? Sometimes, if this happens, right, if you two are talking, or having to admire, what was the other thing I had to do the other day? What was I doing? Oh yeah, what was the other thing? I had to admire football cards and other there are distractions, right? And sometimes you wobble a bit. That's fine. Just go back in and resew. So, yeah, I've got my wool pressing mat, which seems so much better. I'm just going to tell you about this while I plug the iron in. And I'm going to show you two things, right? Love this. I love Best Press spray, right? Absolutely love it. But what I found with the big bottle is that it's so clumpy when it sprays. You just get a big in just one bit, and I felt like I was wasting it. So I'd get one bit that was really well starched and then just a light splattering on the rest. So then I'd have to try and dry out that big let me show you. It just, yeah, it's kind of gone in one big patch, which is not ideal. So I found these, and these are amazing. Yes, they cost a little bit, but look, it's just a light spray, a light misting, which is exactly what you want. So you're not wasting because it's not coming out. It's just a light misting, and also it travels further and you can do larger amounts with it. It's fab. It's the perfect amount. So I've put the misting bottles up. You see, and it's perfect, whereas this one's all soggy. It's the perfect amount. I was really impressed by it. And my supplier said, yeah, they cost a bit, Tash. I went, do you know what though? With what you will end up saving, doesn't matter. And also just the fact that you get a better even spread. I've pressed these to the light side because I'm chatting. With your cutting mat, well, you've seen me. I've spent ages pressing on, using the pressing mat on top of my cutting mat. No problem at all. But what I wouldn't do is use it with steam or this onto a cutting mat. Just dry heat is fine. I found, up to you. But look at these, perfect. And that is from using the folded corner clipper. My 1/2 inch triangles, beautifully done. Is that all it does? Nuh-uh. Let's have a look over here. I'm getting paranoid now, you see, when I get a message, is it someone telling me that something else has run out? Oh no, it's my next door neighbour after some hay. Okay, that can wait, Ronnie, that can wait. Right, so what I want to show you here is I have got a rectangle and a square. And I am going to line this up again, like I just did with the others. On there. And just check I've got this right. Cut along there, and I'm going to take all of this over to the machine. Let's go. Here we go. Right. So 2 things happens. First of all, that bit I just cut off, I can sew and keep for later. And then secondly, what I've got here, and this is why I'm best pressing, by the way, because instantly we are working with bias edges. So your bias, of course, is where the, hang on. I know you've all heard me explain this before, but it doesn't hurt if there's new people watching. The way that your fabric is made, you have got the warp threads that go up and down. The warp goes up and the weft goes left. So your weft threads goes left to right, right to left, and that is how it's woven together, perpendicular. So the minute that you take a cut of 45 degrees or any kind of angle like that, you get some stretch. Okay, we call that cutting on the bias at 45 degrees. It cuts through those fibres and that can allow us to stretch. So the reason that we starch spray is to put some body back to just hold it in place so that there's less of that and less chance of your work bowing, being out of place, and the less need to trim back. So that's what we're doing. I now need to find a small pair of scissors. Luckily I have many. So from that one cut, ha, yeah, lovely. I have got a couple of things going on. I have got a little square to use for later, which was my offcut. But what I've got the start of here is helps if I'd actually sewn to the edge. Is no, I want to go back to that one. This. So if I can do that really, really easily, and look, no dog ears to clip at the top. It's all done for me. How nice and neat and tidy. If I can do that, then I can do flying geese, diamonds in a square. I can do all of these. Flying geese, I just put one on the other side. And then diamonds in a square and snowballs. Yeah, I can do all of those. Okay. Do you know what else I'm going to do? I really struggle with bias binding. Okay, I just do. I struggle with bias binding. It's not my favourite thing. And I remember when I was training as a modern pentathlete for the Olympics, the thing that you can't do very well, you end up having to do the most of. So I am going to face my fear. Yes, I am. And I'm going to use the folded corner clipper to do something else. So I'm moving everything out of the way because I need a strip of fabric. And what better way to cut a strip of fabric than with my Stripology ruler. So, oh, no, that's folded that way. Okay. It got me thinking, wouldn't it be lovely if I could have some William Morris binding fabric? Now, I was watching some binding being made the other day, and she did it at 2 1/4 inches. So let's move that across to my 1/4 inch increment. So I normally do 2 1/2. She did 2 1/4, and I'll cut on that 2 inch line. Now, there we go. I'm just going to cut myself another one. I could look up in my instructions, but let's just for speed do that there. And then, so that's my 2 1/4. See, normally the only reason that I do 2 1/2 inch is just because I'm too lazy to go for 2 1/4. But actually that's super easy and super quick. So I'm just going to line those up there and chop off the selvage. Bump, bump, bump. Okay, that's gone. Right, now, I haven't done this yet because I wanted to do it live, right? What could possibly go wrong? So let's see. Let's just follow the instructions to make our own bias binding, because bias binding normally when it is, well, yeah, so I should have cut that on 45 degree if it's going to be true bias binding, but we'll do straight edge binding, that's fine. But normally it's when it's cut and sewn to elongate it, it's cut again on that 45 degree line. But I always struggle to do that. So I've been cheating and just doing it straight, which just doesn't look as good. So this is what we're going to do, okay? Place one strip on top of the other. Yes, boss. That's what it says. It doesn't say yes, boss. It just says just to do that. Okay, so one strip on top of the other. Okay, done. Align markings of folded corner clipper with the lower right. Oh, over here. This end. As shown in the picture. Okay. All right. Obviously now I'm actually going to have to cut the selvage on the other end, aren't I? That's fine. It's all good. So. I am going to line up that end there, that top bit there, and I'm going to cut across there. Right, okay. Rotate top piece and place wrong side up on the bottom piece. Oh, this is working. Look at that. Okay. Ah, no, I've done it wrong. I've done it wrong. I wasn't paying attention. Who wasn't paying attention? Here we go. Because, look, 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 look. What I should have done. Let me show you where I've done what I've done wrong. And again, this is it. So I just wasn't paying attention. If I'm using this properly, then look, my 2 1/4 is there. There we go. And what I didn't do, I didn't line it up for the size that it was. And I could have done it, don't get me wrong. Could have easily have done it. But now, I've got that edge there. Let's go and see if I've done this right now. So I'm going to sew my 1/4 inch. I hope I've done this right. I might have actually done it a little bit too long. But you've got to find these things out, haven't you? Is it going to work? Is it going to work? Right, no, I did it the wrong way. So I was right first time round. Let's do that again then. Let's just cut that off. Only because, look, I'm out by 1/4 inch because I didn't line it up right. And I kind of knew as I was doing it, but I didn't line it up right. But this is the way to learn, right? So, let me get a nice straight line again. I will get there. I will get there. Right. Align that at the top. Now, there we go. I've just got to align that. Ah, that was it. Do you know what? That's genius. And I'm going to show you this, okay, because I didn't spot this and this is where I went wrong. When I lined it up, I lined it up down here. And I shouldn't have. I cut it at 2 1/4, didn't I? So actually, I need to line that edge up. It's got it marked on there. Oh, you see, they've thought about it before I've even thought about it, which is brilliant. So now I'm going to line that up because that is now 2 1/4. I'm going to line my edge up on there, my top edge up on there, and we'll see if I do it right this time. It's these little things, isn't it? I was guessing where it was. And that's no good because I didn't guess right. So, here we go. That looks better. Even as I was taking it to the machine, I was thinking, that looks a bit bigger than... oh, I've got to do it right sides together, haven't I? Is that right? Place... Yeah, so that should have been... Right, let's go back to the very beginning. This is my fault because I've been faffing about. Right, both fabrics up like that, then cut them on the new line that I found, that 2 1/4 inch line. This is why, you see, you've got to practice things you're not good at. And I will get this right now. From now on, now I know exactly what I'm doing. Right, now, that's it. So they are now right sides together. They're like that, okay? Now we take this to machine and now it will be perfect. Yeah. Let's do it. Oh, the suspense, the suspense. Will it, won't it, will it, won't it, will it, won't it? Let's have a look. Ah, yes, done it. Yay, I've done it. That's the way to do it. Follow the instructions properly. Have them both right sides up to start off with. Then you cut and then you turn it so they're right sides together. I get there in the end, but you know, now I can do it, and now I can make my own binding. Yes, get there in the end. But that's just it, isn't it? If I make the mistakes, you guys don't have to. This is a very clever little piece of kit. We have done bias binding. We have done half square triangles, easy peasy. And you can chain cut those easily. That I made with it earlier. And because you've got the capability to easily do those, that opens you up to flying geese, snowballs, all of those things. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Right, so that was the other ruler that I wanted to show you. And then I've got one last one to show you. Because lots of you are doing rainbows. Elizabeth, yay, well done. Yeah, do you know what? Just sometimes. That's why, you see, I've never managed to get my head round how to cut bias binding. So it's kind of overcoming preconceived ways of doing it wrong and finally getting it right. I'm really chuffed. Isn't that sad? I'm really chuffed. Right, let's have a look at lots of you doing rainbows. So I wanted to look at a ruler that would allow you to do that, plus so many other things. And it is here. It is. This is how I store my rulers, by the way, with the instructions clipped on, because I don't want to ever lose them. Now, this is your 10 degree wedge. And I want to show you the beautiful things that you can do with this. Look at these gorgeous designs. This will always give you all of the different instructions. Look at that. I want to show you how to do that. All the different ways of making and using these rulers. They are so versatile. And then if you want to just, it shows you if you just want to do, let's say if you just wanted to do a shark tooth edge, then you can. It shows you how to do like an echo, a darker echo, if you want to do that around there. If you want to make, I mean, this will make you a massive, great big tree skirt at Christmas, because you can put extensions on it and all sorts and make it huge, absolutely huge. But there are just two things that I wanted to show you from my point of view today. And that was, I kind of fell in love with that one. So I want to show you that one. And I'm just going to do it very, very quickly, because not only does this ruler, can you just use it normally, but you can also use it at an angle. So it's a 10 degree wedge used at 20 degrees, and it will cut you a strip like this. Now, I don't know any other way that I would do this, quite frankly, but just in cutting. So all of the instructions are there. It's told me that this strip here needs to be 3¼ inches, this strip here needs to be 2¼ inches, and this strip here needs to be 5 inches, which I cut with my Stripology ruler this morning, and I have now got to lay out. Now on here I've got 20 degree lines on here. So I've got 20 degree lines there, and there, and there, crisscrossing through the ruler. I've also got 30 degree lines and 45 degree lines. It's got lots of different options. I'm just going to show you a couple, because someone was talking about these rulers the other day and saying, just tree skirts, what else can they do? What about the most amazing placemats? What about a quilt where every block has just like a mariner's compass? And it would be amazing, absolutely amazing. So I need to line this up at 20 degrees. So I'm going to find my 20-degree line. There it is. Move this over here so you can see. So my 20-degree, I've got 20-degree line going up there, 20-degree line going along there. I'm going to line that up. I've also got another 20-degree line along there, so that's going to line up along there like that. And then, I hope this is right because I'm going in for it. I'm just moving my fingers because this is a long ruler, just moving my fingers down like that. And then I will spin this around. If I had the world's biggest rotating cutting mat, I'd be all over that right now, but I don't. So let's realign that there with my 20-degree line on there. We're all good. Yeah. And then I'm going to cut up there. I'm going to spin it around again. And realign everything again. So yeah, do you know what? This one takes a little bit of time. And I'm okay with that. Because this is going to be amazing. So fingers down, close to the end. And then I'm inching my fingers up as I go. And look, that ruler is not moving anywhere. Because it's fabulous. It's fabulous. And then I just need to spin that around one last time. Because you cut away from you. Always cut away from you. Oh, I'm so excited for this. So excited for this. Everything's lined up beautifully. And this is the bit that I want to see, right? One. And two. Yes, they are going to line up a treat all the way around. So that would just keep going. Look at the pattern that is going to make. And all from following these instructions. That's what we've just done. We've cut that one. I cut that one earlier. They're the two strips that you then want to have, and by putting them together, that is the effect that you will get. How stunning is that? I would just have that as the centerpiece of my quilt with my William Morris, and I thought, oh, it'd be amazing, absolutely amazing. That's one use of it, and that's quite an extravagant one, and I think that's gorgeous. Right. The other thing is just how to use it day to day, easy peasy, with strips. So a lot of you have been doing the rainbow thing, fab. So all I did was cut some 2.5-inch strips, my Stripology, sewed them together, bim, 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 and then you just cut. And in doing so, you are going to end up with going around, you're going to end up with a lovely, lovely rainbow. Now, what I could have done, I could have gone alternates, like that. That would have been quite cool too, if I'd have wanted. And that makes a whole new pattern. There we go, that's what that one would have looked like, going around there. But actually it's a rainbow, isn't it? So I'll save those for something else. It's the rainbow. So from this strip, let me show you how easy it is to just make that. So I'm going to make sure that my flat edge at the bottom there is aligned. you would do an initial cut to get that degree line and line everything up. But then once you're up and running, and again, I'm just going to inch my fingers down there so that that non-slip grip has a chance to grip. And if you're in doubt as to whether or not you've cut properly, move the fabric away from what is underneath your ruler. Don't do it the other way around. Don't take your ruler off and then see if you've cut. Move your fabric away, because then if you've got, and this happens if you've got little nicks in your blade and you just miss a thread, you can just move it across to one side, and then if anything has caught, you've got a chance to go back in and make a correct cut. So that one will be the green one. Then spin it around. Again, lining up that bottom edge, lining up this edge here, and I'm making sure that these are all running nice and perpendicular, because it's having this lining up that's going to mean that all those points are going to flow beautifully. Do you know what? I might even get another one out of this. Oh, you see, there we go. There's me saying, just make sure you move your fabric. Oh no, it had cut. There we go. That's going to go on there like that. What do you reckon? Are we going to get another one? Will we? Will we? Oh, the jeopardy. Let's see. Yes, we will. Oh, by the skin of our teeth. Nice. There we go. That is my scrap. That was it. That was all the wastage from it. I think we can afford that, don't you? This was done from half of a strip, so 22-inch strip. And look. From that, I've got those. Now, let's see. If I wanted to do, and it does tell me, so 9 wedges will give me a quarter of a circle. If I want a semicircle, I've got to sew 18 of these together. And if I want the full circle, then that's going to be 36 wedges, of course, because it's 10 degrees, right? Yeah. So all I could do, and then just flip one over on top of the other. Right. You know I'm not a pinner, okay? I really do not pin, but there are times when I want to pin, and this is one of them. And if I'm going to pin, I'm going to bring you great pins, right? Because I do that. And these are they. You get 50 in a pot, and they are not cheap. Okay, I'm gonna say it as it is. They're not. I've tried to bring them in at a price that I think is, you know, is okay. They're not the cheapest, but they are just fabulous pins. They are. Let me show you. I know we've talked about these before, but I haven't had the fine ones. So these are your quilting fine pins. Look how fine that pin is. When they are made, they are brushed the length like that, so they glide. I didn't know. Do you know? I didn't know that all this stuff about pins. Didn't know. Not all pins are created equal. It just glides into your fabric, and it's so fine. It just is. And then this end is heat resistant. So if you need to iron over it, that's absolutely fine. And do you know? I don't know about you, but with some pins, they're a bit fiddly. But you've got little grips on that end, which makes them really, really easy to use. And I really like these. So I'm now stocking these because I was so impressed with them. And I wouldn't normally pay a lot for pins. Right, now, because this came off a strip, my seams will not interlock unless I press them one way or the other. But I'm going to start, and this is why I'm pinning, because I am going to pin just in a few key places, just to make sure that we are all good. I'm going to pin at the top, I'm going to pin at the bottom. And this was when I realised the joy of the pins. They're just really lovely to use. And so then that lines up those seams along there. There we go. And I'm just going to put in one more pin just to hold, and then hopefully that will be enough. Just, you know, want it to look nice. And sticking my pins in on the diagonal if you want it to hold across a seam. I just want to get this one right. I have a feeling this one's a bit wobbly. And there's a little piece of fluff in the way. There we go. Let's do that. And then pin there. And then I shall take that to the machine and see what happens. Right, let's go. And then, of course, you have to make the decision, well, which way do you sew it? I've put my pins in this way, so I'm going to have to sew it this way, but all my seams are actually going that way. So possibly I should sew this way and go in that line, in which case I've pinned it the wrong way. Can you see? As my foot goes over, it would then just glide over those. So I'm just going to have to be really careful because I've just realised I've pinned this all the wrong way. It's okay, it's not the end of the world. 1/4 of an inch all the way down. Let's go. And see what this looks like. Okay, pins out. Because as gorgeous as they are, I don't want to be sewing over them. Do you know what I really love about Creative Grids is that I can get a real professional look. This morning you have seen me beat my fear of binding, and it took a few attempts, but I got there, and I'll remember how to do that now, that's no problem. But I'm not someone that reads instructions well at all. So for me, the fact that these are really clear instructions to follow on all of the grids is just brilliant, and it has just stepped up. There we go. Let's give that a quick press. It has stepped up my quilting no end. I told you that one was out. It is ever so slightly out. I love this. Bit of that, and such a fine mist too, which means that I am actually saving on that. Yeah. Okay, so one of them's out, but I kind of knew that one was going to be. And this is the start of my rainbow, and I rather like it. Yeah. So we'll finish that off today and get that done and get that put in the window, because, you know, that's meant to be done. That was another of those tasks that the headmistress has sent through for us. So I think that is everything for this morning, apart from we will look at these in extra depth. These are all on the website now. So your 10-degree wedge is on there. How versatile, stunning. The brand new Stripology extra large, hooray! I don't know where else you can get it in the UK, not sure. And so I thank very, very much the lovely lady that went, look what I've got from the States. Ha, you can't get it in the UK. And I was like, wow, need to find that now. So well done everybody that's got that. The corner clipper is here. So well done everybody that's got those. A lot of these I actually have in stock here, so I can post out straight away. Others I will just have to wait a couple of days for them to come in. the corner clipper, a little natty device that everybody needs. The perfect 5-inch. We haven't talked about this. It is new to the website. It is on there. If you're cutting 5-inch blocks and smaller, then this is great and comes with much smaller, clearer increments on there as well for when you're dealing with much smaller amounts, so that if you want something that's 3/4 or 3/8, you've got that on there. It's very, very good. The 60-degree diamond mini, we haven't even talked about this. This is going to have a whole show all to itself. That's on the website. We have also going to have to spend some time with the pineapple mini trim tool. That's on the website. Have a look at that as well. The non-slip half 60 triangle, yeah, that's joined us as well. That is now on the website as well. And again, these will all have their own time over the shows because they deserve them. And then a very, very handy one is, of course, the 12-inch square for squaring up those blocks. So if the budget doesn't allow for your Stripology, the big new XL, where you can trim back up to 12.5-inch blocks, then maybe this is the one to go for. They're all on the website. The William Morris is on the website as a bundle with the beautiful Moda Chafakani from the French General range, and with that lovely plain chocolate brown. And also we've got the Heather Bailey. So that's your William Morris and your Moda bundle. Beautiful. They are all on there. And then that bundle in red, in green, 0.5 meters of each, 44 inches, selvage to selvage, 100% cotton. These are all on the website, and those 3 bundles there are £9.99 each. Okay, don't forget to have a little look out for your needle holster, for your replacement needles as well. And the other thing that I didn't mention is your stain remover pen. And I giggle because I get coffee everywhere, and also because invariably I poke myself with pins, and you know, you don't want a little bit of blood. Takes coffee, tea, blood stains, everything out. Uses orange oil in there. Smells amazing. Very, very handy piece of kit to have there. And what else have I got to show you this morning? Oh gosh, lots of things. And then my new favourite pen, which is your 3-in-1 with a white, a black and a pink. This time a pink lead in there. So no matter what colour fabric you are marking on, you've got a contrasting colour. So this is brand new on the website as well today. These remind me of school. So you press down. There you go. And the lead, or just press down if you want to retract that. And that is pink, and I know that it's pink because I've got the PI there, and the little clippy thing is on there. If I turn it around to WH, then that is going to be, you guessed it, white. And you can get refills for these as well. So it's, you know, the refills are that you've got your leads in there, but you can always put other ones in, and that's your black. So no matter what you are working with, you've got that contrasting colour. Love these. Love these. I went with friction pens for a while, but actually I worry about them because if they get cold, the ink marks come back up again. So actually I want something that's going to just go. So I've gone back to these pens because I love them. Really love them. They are on the website. They're all on the website. So do have a good old rummage around. If your hands are struggling, try some Seams oil or cream. Have a look at the creative grids. And remember, if you are a key worker, to email us to get your code for 10% off. Just a little thank you from us back to you. Also, I have on the way, for those of you that were asking for the elastic for the masks, thank you, by the way, for the amazing response to the masks yesterday. If you need elastic, I will sell that at cost. I've got 400 meters coming because, you know, that's a mask or two on its way. So I'm happy to share that out at cost so that we can get these masks to our NHS workers. Thank you very much for joining me today. As ever, we will be running a competition. So if you are showing your support, and I really appreciate all of your support, either through buying or even if it's just through sharing the clip the video today, then next week we will do another giveaway. Still haven't heard from Gabriel Tracy, who was the winner of our charm pack yesterday. Haven't heard from her. So you need to message me, please, so that I can send that out with your address, so that I can post that out to you. Or if you know her, can you just tag her and say, "Wait, you need to get in touch with Natasha." And yes, so anybody who likes and shares this, then you'll be in with a chance to win another charm pack or something like that next week. Thank you so much. I will be on Hochanda on Thursday with some lovely I think I've got Anna Maria Horner fabrics on Thursday on Hochanda, so do watch out for that. And I wish you a fabulous day. Have a lovely rest of the day. Take care, stay safe, be a hero and stay on your sofa. Take care. Lots of love. Bye bye.